Hello there. So, this is organic silver. Maybe I'm Satan. Hopefully I'm not Satan. And I have a freaking fur coat on. Fur cape. It should be a fur cape. I'm gonna take that off. It's hot in there. Fedora, glasses. I'm gonna keep the fur coat on because it's cool. Okay, so the Leeches is a story about high adventure. If you guys don't go on high adventure, it's a camp for 14 to 16. Okay, that's up. Year old boys doing a week in forest doing stuff. Like sometimes you go kayaking for a week, canoeing 50 miles. What we did was just chill in the Uintas, that's what it's named. The Uintas, bear country. And so, one of our leaders, his cousin owned a plot of land up there that had 2 lakes in it. One was just like lily pads everywhere, so you couldn't really kayak anywhere. And we had kayaks and paddle boards and canoes and stuff like that. And it was really cool. It was really fun. And so, the other lake just had 2 big patches of lily pads. And so, it was bear country, so there's 2 stories that go along with this. I'll tell you the first one, which is not about leeches, but the first one is, so we brought a projector and a couple of movies up. And so I think we watched Napoleon Dynamite, and then we watched Brian Regan. In the middle of Brian Regan, one of our leaders dressed up in a bear suit to try and scare us. And so in the middle of Brian Regan, when it was just getting really funny, the leaders paused it and everyone was like shh, shh, shh. And so the leader was in our archery range, because we made PVC pipe bows like freaking hillbillies. Sorry if you're a hillbilly. No offense, but hillbillies are awesome. I love hillbillying. I made a hillbilly lamp over here. It's pretty cool. So we made PVC pipe bows with paracord string. And so he was in the middle of our archery range in a bear suit, and one of our leaders gets the huge spotlight and shines it on him. And so the fear in our minds made it seem like it was an actual bear. So we all freaked the crap out. And so we had 2 trailers. One was for food and had the projector on it, so none of us could get in there. And there was like 9 guys there. Sausage fest. I know. Shut up. No, it was not. It was not a sausage fest. Even though the guy that got leeches did spoon someone in the middle of the night. Multiple people in the middle of the night. I don't know why, but he's weird. Okay, so 9 of us crammed into a tiny trailer. Like, not very big. It was probably as big as my room, but it was not very big. And so we all crammed in there, and you could feel the trailer shaking from everybody's legs trembling and everybody thinking it was like a real bear. And we locked ourselves in the trailer, like locked with a padlock, so nothing could get in there. And so the leaders were just like faked the whole thing, and for the rest of the night while we were watching Brian Regan, every twig snapped or anything fell in the forest. I freaked the crap out. Like, not kidding. I couldn't focus on Brian Regan. We were watching, I think, Stupid in School, and it was like, Brian, you're so stupid. I know there's 2 Ks. I heard a freaking twig snap in the archery range. I freaked the crap out. I was like, oh my gosh, get away. No. I was like, no. So yeah, I freaked the crap out. It's freaking hot in here. Turn the fan over here. So I freaked the crap out, and it was really funny for the rest of the group. But I freaked the crap out. Because I think we did see a bear, though. I think it was across one of the lakes. It was really freaky. And so, so our trailers were up here, where we were watching Brian Regan and stuff. By the lake, by the lake was down here. The lake was down here at lake level. Is it lake level? Okay, so the trailers were up here. There was like a freaking steep hill that was like, Wah! And we had to climb up there every day to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and evening. It sucked so bad. Because you didn't have... Oh, and I got my tent collapsed on me, which was not fun. When you're ever at camping with someone, collapse their tent. It's really fun for you, but really crappy for them. So do that. Okay, the second story was another one with the bear suit. So we are the leader that had the cousin that owned the land. He was a Deacon's Corn advisor or someone. And so he brought all the boys, and they brought their canoes and kayaks and stuff. And so, 3 of the boys, I think it was me, Tanis, or no, 4. Me, Tanis, his name is really cool, I like it. Russell and Cody were all swimming in the lake with the deacons and stuff. And, so the deacons, all the teachers knew about this, but it was the four of us that decided to go like investigate with sticks and stuff. And so then the leader that dressed in the bear suit the night before walked across an opening in the forest, and all the deacons pointed at him and saw him and stuff, and the 4 of us went into the forest for like 10 minutes, like solid 10 minutes, with sticks, and we all were like, yeah, let's get this bear, yeah, we're gonna kill this bear. And all the leaders, they knew about this, and they were like, no, stop, don't do that, no. And we were good actors. And so the deacons were all like freaking the crap out. And so, no, it wasn't a bear suit, it was a monkey suit, that's what it was, that's what I couldn't remember. Because we lost the monkey hands in the forest, and we found them the next day. And so, he went off in the forest that way, and then he went like 50 yards back into the forest, and ran back to the campsite, and desuited before anyone could tell it was him. And so the deacon is a 12-year-old. 12 to 14 is a deacon, if you guys didn't know that, and you're not Mormon, and blah blah blah. So, just for clarification, so it's 12 to 14 for a deacon, then 14 to 16 for a teacher, and then 16 to 18 is a priest, and then everybody else is an elder or whatever. And so, all the deacons were like freaking the crap out, and we went into the forest like, I had my PVC pipe bow, like, with no arrows. I don't know how I was gonna shoot. I think I was just gonna shoot sticks apparently to the deacons or something like that. I didn't have any arrows, and so we walked into the forest. 10 minutes later, we were just like discussing what we were gonna do. And so, 10 minutes later, we ran out of the forest and like sprinted out of the forest, screaming and yelling, and the guy that was spooning people ran into the water and into the lily pad, and no one knew about these leeches until then. And so he ran into them, and the 3 of us ran around the lake, and like we were just like overselling it, and it was just funny, and all the deacons were like, Sasquatch, Sasquatch, bear, bear, and it was so funny. And so he ran into the lily pad and then just floated there. And when he came out, he had leeches all over his body. And it was so funny because he couldn't put his shoes on because there was leeches on his feet. And so when he comes out of the water, he had to walk on wood chips and sharp stones to get to our campsite so he could sit down. And it was so funny to watch because there was just black worms all over his legs. And so we got, I think it was tweezers, and like the four of us, or the three of us that were still in there, and then 2 leaders, were just for like half an hour just picking out little leeches. And it was funny because he kept screaming, and it was so funny. This is a long video, isn't it? You guys probably like this one the best because it was the funniest, because it wasn't mine. It wasn't my expense. Well, it kind of was, but it was still funny. Have a nice day.